Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Guys, I'm so excited for today's video because I finally get to talk about a fragrance that I have been testing it for a long time, and a fragrance that I ended up loving. This fragrance is called Gharam. I have the 100 milliliter version of it. You can find it in 100 ml and 50 ml, and it is by none other than Junaid Perfumes. Now, if you are not new to my channel, or let's just say if you are new to my channel, Junaid is a brand that I don't know, I love this brand, honestly. It's a brand from Bahrain and they have amazing fragrances. Like, I cannot tell you how much I resonate with the way they do their fragrances, like on a deeply personal level. Like, if, I don't know, some of my favorite fragrances are from this brand, and I always try to test every fragrance from this brand that I get, but it's kind of hard to find them here in Europe. Basically, you guys, what's the story behind this fragrance? I'm sure you've heard of Adesua here on YouTube. She reviews Middle Eastern fragrances as well. She and I were chatting on Instagram, or she texted me. She was like, you have to try this fragrance, girl. She tried it. I mean, she knew I loved Junaid fragrances. She tried this fragrance and she told me that I would love it and that I have to try it. Now, this fragrance where I live, it was kind of pricey, honestly, not gonna lie. I mean, it was at the same price of a designer fragrance, let's say, but I don't remember the exact occasion. There was a sale going on the website, so I decided to blind buy the biggest bottle available. And if this doesn't say the love that I have for this brand, and let me tell you, it was not affordable, you know, but it was worth it. Completely worth it. This is how it looks. I think it looks very beautiful, and this is the box that it comes in, but I will insert a close-up with the presentation so you can see it comes very beautifully packaged. Something that I like is that, I don't know, there's just something about their fragrances. Like, when I look at the packaging and when I look at the fragrance, like the font they choose, like the types of detail they choose, I can tell it's a Junaid fragrance in a sense. I don't know. This is marketed as a unisex fragrance, by the way, and I really appreciate the fact that they went for such a minimalistic, androgynous looking presentation. I mean, when you look at this, it doesn't scream feminine, it doesn't scream masculine, it just screams classy and timeless, in my opinion. So yes, like I've mentioned, I got the 100 ml version. I got this one blindly. I had no idea what to expect. I mean, I looked at the notes. I will insert the notes here. The notes looked amazing. I mean, it has plum, it has tobacco, it has honey, it has oud. I mean, what can you want more? These are notes that I naturally gravitate towards in fragrances. These are notes that I love. So yeah, I was very excited to try it, and let me tell you, when I smelled it for the first time, you guys, it didn't disappoint. This is a bold fragrance. This is not something that everyone will appreciate, but if you have a taste for really beautiful, spicy tobacco fragrances, you will enjoy it. Okay, so here are the notes. I will insert them here on the screen. Here is the bottle. Really smells so beautiful. Wow, it's a gorgeous fragrance, you guys. This fragrance, honestly, is the kind of fragrance that takes you on like a journey when it comes to scents. It's an experience type of fragrance. To me, like, when I close my eyes and I smell this fragrance, like, I imagine you're like in a small dark room that's quite warm there, and you're preparing like a cigar, or you want to smoke cigar, or let's just say you have dozens of high quality luxurious cigars near you. You freshly open a box of dark chocolate, like orange flavored dark chocolate, because to me, in the opening, it smells like legit like a box of orange chocolate, like orange flavored dark chocolate. So like I mentioned, you have the cigars on the table, you have the box of chocolates on the table, you have lots of cinnamon sticks and some plums, like dried plums dipped in honey. And imagine you go in and you smell all of this together at the same time, so you get bits and pieces of all of these smells, and it is delicious. But not delicious in like a playful, uplifting kind of way. No, delicious in like a bold statement, opulent, unapologetic type of way. You know what I'm talking about? This fragrance is definitely not for everyone. I think you need to have a taste for tobacco fragrances to appreciate this fragrance. But if you do enjoy tobacco fragrances, this is a fragrance that I think you should at least test it, honestly. Like, go to some stores, buy a sample if you have the possibility, put it on your wish list, buy a decant, buy a sample if you have the chance. It's worth testing, honestly. It smells so beautiful, you guys. It's so rich, it's so warm, it's so full, so robust, so strong. It's a gorgeous, decadent fragrance. Basically, like I've mentioned in the opening, the note that I get the most is this gourmand facet of that like dark chocolatey orangey, or like that orange flavored dark chocolate. But you also have lots of sweet spicy cinnamon here. Now cinnamon is not listed, but I get cinnamon all throughout the fragrance and all throughout its development. It's a very present note. So you have the gourmand facets, you have the sweet spicy facets, and then you have this like dark sticky sweet plummy honeyed facet as well. So it's like ultra sweet. It's very sweet, quite gourmand leaning, but with the tobacco that pulls it, doesn't let it go too gourmand, you know. It doesn't smell edible, but it smells very realistic. Like honestly, the way they did their notes and the way they like blended this fragrance, it smells like you were to legit smell all of this together at once, you know. It's beautiful. It's quite a dark fragrance, it's quite a deep fragrance. It has some warmth throughout it. And not only that, but it has a lot of sweetness, like different types of sweetness, I would say. On one hand, you have the sweetness that comes from that like chocolatey touch, or that at least I perceive it as orange chocolate. But that one, I would say, fades away. So it doesn't. It lasts, I would say, up to 5 minutes, then it fades away completely. Then you get the sweetness from this, imagine you have like dried plums dipped in honey. You take them out and you smell them, so you get this like dark fruity sticky sweetness. It's beautiful, but you also get the warmth, you get the richness of the honey with the cinnamon. But the cinnamon here, I would say, imagine you have this like grounded cinnamon, you know, so it's like ultra sweet, ultra spicy, like freshly grounded. So it's very like flavored in a sense, with a lot of tobacco. Now this is all about tobacco. I feel like this is about tobacco and the beautifying notes that you have near the tobacco. I would say in the opening you do get more of the gourmand facets, but as this fragrance starts to develop on the skin, the tobacco comes forward more and more to the point where it's the star of the show, in my opinion. So if you do not like tobacco in your fragrances, there's no way that you can go past about it. This is all about tobacco. This honestly is for those who like tobacco in their fragrances. Now the tobacco used here, because you know, personally I don't smoke cigars, but I love how they smell. Not cigarettes. Those smell ashy, but cigars, they smell very like rich. I don't know how to describe it, like warm, rich flavored in a sense. Now the tobacco used here is that exact type. It's not a damp tobacco like you have in red tobacco, for instance. In red tobacco you have that like damp tobacco feel because of the patchouli associated with the tobacco accord, so it felt damp and slightly green. No, this tobacco, the tobacco they used here, it's a gorgeous, warm, dry and slightly sweet tobacco, but it's very realistic in a sense. Like if you know people who smoke cigars near you, or those like, it's the kind of tobacco that you use to smoke pipes. I hope this is how it's called in English. It's that exact same. So it's very dry, sweet and flavored in a sense. It's beautiful, not at all bitter, and very spicy. I don't know, you guys, they don't have listed cinnamon, but honestly cinnamon is all I can smell when I smell this fragrance. Cinnamon and tobacco all throughout the development of the fragrance. So yes, like I've mentioned, as it starts to develop, it loses some of that sticky sweetness that you had in the opening, loses some of the, now I call them beautifying notes, you know, it loses some of those notes, and the tobacco and the cinnamon are the ones that you smell the most. It gets much drier now. The tobacco is very dry. It's still sweet, but it's not as sticky sweet as it was in the opening. And as you get to the dry down, to me, you also do get some slight oak moss hints, but the oak moss, how to describe it to you in a way, it's almost like it's behind the tobacco and behind the cinnamon, so you get just a slight touch of the oak moss that makes the tobacco overall a bit more grounding, a bit deeper, a bit darker in a sense, but it doesn't give it any like damp facets or any like unpleasant facets, you know. It just gives it a slight darkness in a sense. Even though I love tobacco in fragrances, I can see that I have tried tons of tobacco-based fragrances, but I feel like two memorable tobacco-based fragrances in the fragrance world are Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford and Red Tobacco by Mancera, and they are very different at the same time. I feel like almost they're like quite polar opposites in a sense, you know. Now what I have tried, I have Red Tobacco by Mancera in my collection, and I love that fragrance. It's very different to this one from Junaid Perfumes, very different. That one from Mancera, the sweetness, it's sharp, You do get some spices there, but they are sharp spices with sharp sweetness. You do have something syrupy in the background, but the overall fragrance, it has a sharpness all throughout it, you know. The tobacco there from time to time can have this like damp sensation. They go into a different direction. If anything, I feel like this fragrance could be, not that they are similar, because they're not similar, but it's closer to Tobacco Vanille and it's closer to Amber Oud Tobacco by Al Haramain than it is closer to Red Tobacco by Mancera as a reference. But to me, this one from Junaid Perfumes, it's much deeper, much darker, much more robust. It's much, you have this like dark, sticky sweetness to it, you know. You have a lot of spices. The spices here are sweet, so they're not like sharp spices or like green spices as you have in that one from Mancera. So yeah, but if anything, I would say it leans closer to Amber Oud Tobacco than to Red Tobacco in my opinion, but still it doesn't go into any directions. To me, this is a fragrance of its own in a sense. So those were pretty much my thoughts about how this fragrance smells. I am very happy to have it in my collection, you guys. I cannot, oh yeah, by the way, something I wanted to mention now. The only downsides that I can find about this fragrance is the fact that, look, the bottle is beautiful. It has this like velour fabric that is very beautiful. It feels very nice to the touch. It feels quite sleek and luxurious in a sense, but it every dust sticks to it. Every dust particle sticks to it. Now, what I do for that, if you have cats any cats or dogs in your house, you know, like there are the rollers that have a sticky surface, so you can get all your cat hair off of your clothes. Yes, I use that roller for this fragrance from time to time to make it look basically brand new, basically, you know, so that it doesn't have any dust particles. But I will try to do a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. Like I did this yesterday for the fragrance, and I don't know if you can see, but some dust particles still got on the fragrance, you know, but nothing, let's just say nothing too much, you know. Like if I just put it like this normally, it doesn't look better. When it comes to the performance, I want to quickly mention, to me this doesn't have any performance issues. This fragrance performs, you guys, and not only that, but it projects, it leaves a sillage, you know. You do have a scent bubble when you wear this fragrance. As a reference, when I would wear this fragrance, or when I have worn this fragrance, I did around 6 to 7 sprays. I don't think you need more, especially if you wear this fragrance in warm weather. 6 sprays is the elegant way to go. If you go past 6 sprays, I don't know, depending on the occasion, some people might be put off because it is a strong decadent fragrance, you know. It's not a fade fragrance. It's a fragrance that has this, it's almost like you're smelling like layers upon layers upon layers of fragrance. It has a beautiful depth to it, you know. It's not flat, it's not thin, you know. It has a lot of richness to it, so it's quite a suffocating fragrance in a sense. But I love suffocating fragrances. I mean, these are the kind of fragrances I gravitate towards, you know. So yeah, I don't mind it. Honestly, I would wear it all year round. I have worn it in high heat. I will definitely wear it in the winter time, but I feel like as like a guideline, or like as like a baseline, let's say, this fragrance would shine more in colder months. But if you're like me and you love this kind of fragrances all year round, I easily think you could wear it all year round. Perhaps just be mindful of the number of sprays, especially if you go in closed spaces. Now, longevity on my skin is more than 6 hours. Projection, in the first hour it projects very well, you guys. I have tried this fragrance on my partner as well. He really enjoys it. He told me that it feels like it smells very luxurious in a sense, and I can definitely see why. Now, on him, he told me that he finds it a bit too sweet for his taste. But to me, this is a perfect unisex fragrance. I think it definitely takes like a confident, like a bold and confident woman to wear something like this. But as a reference, I think women could pull this one off easier than they could, for instance, Red Tobacco by Mancera. But keep in mind, as it gets closer to the dry down, it loses some of those like gourmand beautifying notes, you know. Okay, so now when it comes to seasons, I have mentioned it. Okay, when it comes to versatility, to me this is a versatile fragrance. I could wear it okay, let's try that again. To me, this is a versatile fragrance, you guys. I could wear it during the daytime, I could wear it during the nighttime, warm weather, cold weather, summer, winter, everything in between. So yeah, as long as I'm in the mood, and the mood that I think a woman should be is like, like mysterious, bold, and sophisticated. Yes, when you want as a woman to feel mysterious, you want to feel bold and sophisticated, and you want something that not everybody wears, I think this is when I would pull this one out. Let me actually give you some layering ideas as well, because I know you love my layering ideas when I do in-depth reviews. Now, this fragrance on its own, keep in mind, it's very complex. I think here you could play with the sweetness in a sense, and you could play with the smoky facet. Now, something that I forgot to mention, and I feel like it's very important to mention, the tobacco here, it's not smoked. It's not the kind of tobacco that's like, yeah, smoked basically. It doesn't have any smoky nuances. It's a dry, sweet, rich, full tobacco, but it's not smoked. So I feel like this is something that you could play with. You could play with the sweetness, you could play with the spiciness, you could make it more spicy, you could make it more, even more sweet, but like different kinds of sweetness, I would say. You could definitely play with the tobacco here. You could play with the smokiness. You could make it smokier, you could make it darker, brighter, deeper. But I feel like if you're a man and let's say you find this fragrance too sweet, or you, not necessarily that you find it too sweet, but maybe that you would like to make it slightly darker. Let's just say maybe you would like to amplify even more the tobacco facet. I feel like a layering combo that you would enjoy is of course with Marjal Sultan by Asdaf. That these two fragrances would work very well together. Now, something that I would mention, because this fragrance, it's so strong and complex, and because it's so like multifaceted in a sense, I feel like when you choose to layer this one with other heavy fragrances, to me, for both of the fragrances to be able to shine, like to fully shine, I would apply them in different parts of my body in a sense. But when it comes to lighter fragrances, let's just say maybe you would like to layer it with a vanilla based fragrance like Muatar Dahab, which is actually something that I do want to explore, then I would actually apply this one as a topper, like Muatar Dahab as a topper. Also, another fragrance that I feel like would work amazing layered with this one. Now, I'm just giving you some ideas. Some I have tried, some I haven't tried. But from what I have smelled and from what I have in my collection, these are just some ideas that I think you could try as well if you have these fragrances. Another idea is with La Belle Le Parfum by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Now, these two fragrances, they would definitely be showstoppers. Now, this is for the nighttime, for open spaces, and for when you're wearing an outfit that's very like, not androgynous in a sense, but you're wearing an outfit that's like a statement outfit, you know. It's not when you want to feel girly or feminine or like radiant. No, it's when you want something like bold and confident and unapologetic. I would mix these two. Because La Belle Le Parfum by Jean-Paul Gaultier has a lot of sweetness as well. It has the ambery facets, you have the pear, and here in this one from Junaid Perfumes, you have this like sticky plums dipped in honey with cinnamon, with everything. I think they would mix very well. Now, keep in mind, both of these are heavy fragrances, but if you enjoy heavy fragrances, I don't see any reason why you couldn't wear these two together. Now, another combo that I would like to recommend to you to try if you have both of these fragrances is with Khamra by Latafa. Now, if you have Khamra by Latafa, it would really make a beautiful pairing with this one, with Gharam by Junaid. I would use actually Khamra as a topper because it's much lighter, it's not as dense, it's not as sweet. But those two together, I feel like imagine like you have plums, you have honey, you have cinnamon in both, but you would add this like apple juice mixed with dates, this like sticky sweetness in a way. It's a combo that I feel would work amazing again. Yeah. But you guys, all these combos with this fragrance are when you want to be like all out, you know, like when you feel very extroverted that day. This is when I would advise you to layer this fragrance. But this smells, how to say, like full and complete already on its own, you know. These were some of the layering combos that I have for you. Let me know if you have tried this fragrance. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know how you find the performance. Let me know if you have any layering ideas. Let me know what other fragrances have you tried from Junaid Perfumes. You guys, oh my god, I cannot wait to test more of their fragrances. Honestly, it's such a bummer that I don't have access to so many of their fragrances. Like, my wish list when it comes to them, it's very long. Yeah, but the thing is, it's a brand like not only that, like objectively speaking, like their fragrances smell very beautiful, very well done, very luxurious, and they smell like they're high quality fragrances, but on like a personal level, I resonate so much with this brand. I don't know, like the way they do their fragrances, like they know how to do their spices, and this only confirms this even more. Like they really know how to do their spices, their vanillas, their ouds, you know, I don't know, they really know how to play with these notes and to bring out what's best of them, and they really know how to make loud fragrances, but they smell luxurious, you know, that they smell opulent and royal. Like, I don't know, honestly, I cannot wait to test more of their fragrances. I don't know, either somehow I will be able to find some samples and decants of their scents in Europe. By the way, if you know any place in Europe that sells samples of Junaid fragrances, please let me know. Either, I don't know, I will have to plan a trip somewhere in the Middle East. We will see. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, you guys. As always, don't forget you can follow me on Instagram. Here is my handle. If you want to tell me anything, please put it down below and I promise that I will get back to you. So yes, thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye.